Hey, we're the Man Who, and we're hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
You guys just wrapped up your tour right now with Banners. Talk to me about this run and like how different was it for you guys, like opening up for an artist like that?
It was great. Sorry, I don't have much of a voice, but yeah, it was really a really good experience to get down through the eastern side of the states and just play some shows to some really good crowds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like as you guys are doing that tour and like getting new audience, also while you guys just dropped this debut EP, like what do you guys feel like you got from those kind of live shows that you guys did?
Well, it was pretty cool, really rewarding. Like we spent 2 years making that record, and then just getting out and actually seeing people's reactions because we're a new band to them to begin with, but
Right.
then just seeing how they react to songs that we spent so long working on, and kind of realizing that maybe one that we didn't think was as strong as it is, so it becomes the fan favorite.
Right.
There's one song actually in particular on the record called "You." There's kind of like a ballad. It's a little different than the rest of the EP. We were kind of like, is it going to make the cut? And then live, it's a really special moment in the set. So just kind of discovering that kind of stuff is really cool.
And I noticed like that song in particular was part of like the re-release. It wasn't from the original debut EP. So what made you guys want to bring that song onto the re-release in the first place?
Good question. It was kind of we had a group of songs like all together. We were trying to decide what was actually going to make the EP, and then just like trying to figure out what to do with like these extra couple of tunes that didn't like make the original release. And then just deciding, you know what, these kind of all live in the same world together, like all the songs. So we may as well just re-release it as a full package.
Yeah, it's felt like that it lived in the same space because we made it at the same time. So it just made more sense to have it out as a collective. That way, if we when we start to write for the next record, we can kind of have a little bit of a fresh approach.
Right. You guys got to work in the studio with Togs. What was it like kind of collaborating with him? Like how did he kind of challenge you guys at the same time?
He's amazing, honestly. Like we worked with a lot of producers, and up until the point that we met him. He kind of became the fourth band member in a way because we were just able to sit in a room with him and jam, and he understood where we're trying to go production wise, and he had like a bunch of vintage, Prophets and like a Roland Juno and just like really cool guitars and amps and just loads of stuff. So we could kind of just sit in a circle. Everyone picks up something, start jamming, and it kind of changed our creative process a bit. Because before we were doing a lot of demos in our home studio where we just kind of we couldn't record a live drum kit, so it was just like start with the loop, play a bass line, try to come up with a melody, play guitar, and then we just broke that up, and it was a lot more just like live off the floor, like just jamming, and him playing like a big major part in that.
Right. Now lyric wise, did he kind of step in and help you out with the lyrics? And if so, like how did he kind of make you step out of your comfort zone?
Lyrically, he kind of told us right off the bat that he doesn't do lyrics, but he would tell us when our lyrics sucked. So, but
How does that work?
mostly he would run the production side, and then me and Chad would be in the background, kind of coming up with the lyrics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, one cool thing that he really did push us when we were writing Natural Villain, he kind of turned around. He's like, I really like where this chorus is heading. He's like, I bet you can't squeeze the word Machiavellian in there. So that's a Togs lyric. So if anybody's listening to that tune and goes, these guys have a great vocabulary, we don't. He does.
I mean, that was my next question because it's like, do you do research before you write lyrics?
No.
We have to do research as we're writing them to make sure we're using the words properly.
So, when you guys are creating this EP, you mentioned the drums, you had to do it somewhere else. So where did you guys end up doing the drums? I know you guys ended up doing in a cabin, like by Niagara Falls, but like, did you also do the drums there? Or did you have to go somewhere else to do that?
There's a few different spots actually. We actually got to record some drums here in LA actually, which was really kind of a special thing with a writing production duo called Heavy.
Okay.
And I got to record, and they have a great little space there with a little attic, like loft area with a drum kit in it. Nice. So it was kind of a neat little tucked away space, and it was just kind of a really special kind of moment, I guess.
They have little orange trees in their backyard, so we're just peeling fresh oranges and eating that while he's banging on drums upstairs. They're pretty cool.
Got to get that vitamins in.
Yeah, yeah.
So, with the tracks that are on the EP, like, why did you guys feel like these tracks were like the perfect fit or the perfect like introduction of the band to this audience?
Yeah, I mean, I think that like lyrically, we each song kind of has its own thing, and we're not hitting the nail on the head too much. We're not singing like a bunch of love songs. I feel like we were able to. Well, we wrote a lot of songs, and so there was some that were a little bit too much of the same, and
Yeah.
so I think when we narrowed it down, we were able to say a little bit more. And I don't know, we have a good team of people that tell us when the songs are good, so we just listen to them.
Now, we were talking earlier about like previous stuff that you guys have worked on, and you guys come from like a variety of genres that you guys have kind of either collaborated, been a part of, or like just kind of pursued in your careers. But like going from those kind of genres to what you're pursuing today, like first of all, like what made what made you say like this is the sound that we want to kind of pursue for the Man Who, and like how was that transition like for you guys?
Yeah, David and I made basically an EP and a full length record that were more folk centric. And Frank has toured a bunch with a lot of amazing artists, and he's played in the country bands. Frank and I have played in all country bands, and that kind of stuff. But yeah, when I was based in Toronto and I was getting these guys to move to the Big Smoke, and when they eventually got there, they both sacrificed a lot to make that move. So we tried to do the whole like, where do you want to be in 10 years? And
Yeah.
the answer was we hopefully one day can play a stadium. And so we were like, what's the sound that can get us there? And then just through experimenting to find what that is, we incorporated like hip hop drum loops and some synth bass and
Yeah.
guitars, and it was just a little bit of a journey of accidentally finding it. To be honest, we experimented a lot, and I think we found a place where it feels authentic to us, and we enjoy playing it. Stuff that we'd want to listen to, and but yeah, it wasn't a clear path, but we eventually got there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, as far as like the lyrics go, like I know like country is the number one like genre that like those lyrics are so pure, so genuine. Do you feel like you brought those kind of lyrics into this project as well?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we usually pull from other genres as well, but it's yeah, I don't know. I think so.
Yeah, I mean, like growing up, I listened to a lot of like Fleetwood Mac and CCR, and a lot of lyric for just songs that live and die by melody and lyric. So that was a big influence. So that was important to us. Just writing songs that say something at least.
Right. And as you incorporate a little bit of like the hip hop beats, how does that kind of help you, or like help you kind of like create the drums that you kind of put on this record?
Yeah, I think for like first and foremost, we're just fans of music, regardless of genre. So like a good song to us is a good song,
Right.
and so that's been really nice. Like finding these guys that have the same, you know, kind of mindset in that respect, and just drawing from like different spots and picking um, different influences that we can kind of, do a tip of the hat to a little bit. Yeah, it's been neat.
So like the EP's out now. Like, do you guys feel like there was a particular song on this EP that was like giving you guys the hardest time to kind of make it, to either finalize it or even just like kickstart it? Was there that particular song?
So David and I started 3 years ago. So we had the verse and the pre-chorus to it, but it had this weird like swung, like bass groove, and it was a lot faster. And we thought there was something there, just like the lyric and the verse. I thought was always really cool, but we couldn't find a home for it. Like it didn't really make sense. It didn't fit with anything. So every time we go into a session, if we kind of weren't running into roadblock or whatever with the producers, we'd be like, oh, we have this other idea we could start on, and then we show it to them, and they'll be like, nah, there's nothing there. But then when we showed it to Togs, he's like, man, he's like, you gotta drop that bass line, you put it on. He's like, put it on piano, slow it down. He's like, halftime the drums, just like make it crazy. Like, he's like, it sounds like a James Bond theme song to me. He's like, we got to go for that. So I didn't, up until we finished it, I never knew for 3 years, I didn't know that song was ever going to see the light of day. But I'm really happy it did, because it's a special moment for us on the record.
That's awesome. Like, I love that you guys are a trio, but it like you listen to the EP and it's so anthemic at the same time. Like, how were you guys able to create that kind of sound with the three of you guys?
Well, no one tells us to stop recording fast enough, so we just keep layering stuff. Yeah, no, I think that's actually the funnest part is just kind of getting into a room and like we all play multiple instruments and David plays everything from like banjo to the slide and bass and guitar and piano and I'm kind of similar that way too. So if no one tells us to stop, we'll just keep going.
And we have to figure out what we're actually going to play and how to play it live. So we have lots to choose from. So
Yeah. And how did you? So this EP, for example, like how does that reciprocate live? Like how does that live show look?
Yeah, I mean, we tend to make the live show a little bit more guitar forward. Like there's loads of guitars on the record, but we're just when we're making the record, we're trying to think of like how can it live in on the radio or on Spotify and we're trying to think of like the marketplace it's going to land in.
Yeah.
But yeah, live we melt faces and try to just make it a little more of a rock show. Yeah.
So the year's done. You guys just wrapped up the tour. EP's already out. Like, what are the plans for 2020? Do you guys see like already a lineup of either shows or just like things going on for the new year?
Yeah, I mean, our agent says that the main goal is to put together a West Coast tour, get us from Vancouver down to LA, and so I know there's that. There's some talks of some shows over in Europe. So between the two of those, hopefully they can keep us busy, and we're happy to go wherever they send us. Yeah.
So Frank, what is it about drums that made you want to pursue that as your career path?
I got a drum set when I was 12 years old, and it just kind of like, I remember my dad saying like, "You want to play drums? Like I haven't heard you like be rhythmic at all." And this is after like me trying and quitting a lot of things too. So he was like, bless him, that he bought me a drum set, and it kind of just stuck. I mean, he was probably hoping I gave that one up too. But yeah, there's just something about it. It's very like visceral, and I don't know how to describe like it's almost like a release, like it's like a physical release when you play drums too, because it's such a physical movement. So yeah, it's always just been like a real passion of mine.
And then what about for your instruments? You also have plenty.
Yeah.
You can't just pick one.
Yeah, I mean, when I was a kid, I just fell in love with songs. To be honest, like I would sit there and like try to rewrite the lyrics to my favorite song, and then I was like, well, if I want to be able to write these, I guess I'm gonna have to play them. So it just made sense to play guitar. But unfortunately, I wasn't blessed with the best voice, so I was like, I'm gonna have to be a backup singer. Luckily, I'm related to somebody who can sing, so and I guess that's how it all came about.
And then for you, how did you know, or why did you know you wanted to pursue singing?
Well, I don't know about singing. I don't know if I wanted to do that, but as far as the instruments go, like there was always records around the house. Like my dad would always play stuff, and there was always a guitar or a piano sitting around, so I could always kind of sit and figure out what was on the radio. So I kind of knew there was something there. Yeah.
That's awesome, guys. Well, congratulations with the debut EP. You guys be sure to check out The Man Who. Debut EP is out now. It's called
Bet on You.
There we go. Thanks for watching on Forever Live.